All right, folks, welcome back. We are just absolutely pumping them out right now. I got a lot of footage to go through, but yeah, we are here again with another installment of our Road to Masters series. And this track that we are at now is a track that we've only done one time so far in this series, and that is the newest track. And technically my home Grand Prix, since it's much closer to me than Circuit of the Americas is, and that is obviously Miami. And something I didn't really do too much on our first qualifying lap of Miami is actually go through, kind of mentally how I approach driving this track. So I'm going to try to do that and try to remember to do that for a majority of the tracks that you haven't seen yet as we get to them in this series. So here you want to brake way earlier and start your turning in a lot earlier than you would initially think. And you don't want to take too much curb here, and you want to be careful getting on the throttle and use the least amount of steering angle as possible, because if you go full throttle with no traction control and max steering angle through that right-hander, you will lose it. Here you can mount over these curbs. I could have taken that a little bit better. The first section of that S section I didn't quite take as much curb, but again, these laps aren't going to be anything heroic because, like I say, you just want to keep it nice and smooth on these one-shot qualifying laps. And yeah, maybe in hindsight, watching this film back, that wasn't a great Sector 1 to my ability, but in terms of the silver matches that we are in right now, it should do just fine, especially here as we get to this tricky section, which I feel like I usually nail pretty well. Up the fourth, quickly down the second, you want to take a lot of curb, use second gear to rotate the car around, and then be fast but smooth onto the throttle, get a nice run down the stretch. Now only one braking point to go, and you got plenty of time to think about it and plenty of time to get a move done if you're right behind someone. And again, you want to brake earlier than you would anticipate here, because it kind of goes up as you go into the apex and down coming out. Like, you always feel like you're understeering in that corner. Again, you want to be careful getting on the traction on the exit because you're turning as you do so. Hit the DRS as you cross the line, and as you can see, it was another great qualifying result for us, I thought, but it is actually P2 for us here in this qualifying, which is the first time actually we've gotten second. So far, we have gotten all first or we invalidate. But look at this. We got a little bit of a game error here where we have the fastest time by 2 seconds, but for some reason it puts someone else on pole. And I honestly don't understand what would cause this glitch. I didn't notice if that driver retired or left the session or what. But yeah, it gave him pole position for some reason. But as you will see when we load into the game, it's not as bad as I initially thought it was. And you will see when we load in here that it's just an empty grid slot in front of me instead. It turns out he actually left the session, but he did so as he was crashing, and it just caused some kind of issue with the game. I don't know why the game thought he was on pole. But yeah, heading into the start of this race, want to do what we always do, get a nice clean start, be in the lead into turn 1, and yeah, hopefully have another nice easy race here. But yeah, as you can see, I was concerned loading in, but now you can see it's just an empty grid slot in front of me. So I'm still on pole position, just we have a longer run into turn 1, which there's pros and cons. If I get a good start, that gives me more straight line to pull more of a gap. But if I don't get a great start, then that's just a longer stretch into turn 1 that they can catch up to me and make a move. So pros and cons, but at the end of the day, it isn't that much of a difference. And as long as, I'm still in control of my own destiny here. So yeah, game glitches, annoying, but in hindsight, it really doesn't affect the race much. And yeah, we get a great launch off the line. Luckily, our wheel spin kind of drifts us to the left, so we naturally drift right over to the racing line. I go deep. It looks like I just made a mistake, but I swear I do go deep on purpose a lot. And I only do that really in ranked lobbies just because I don't trust the people behind. And yeah, we got off to a clean start here. Incidents are going on behind. We have a 2-second pace advantage at least over the cars behind, because I even put in not a great lap at all and it was still 2 seconds faster. So yeah, don't mean to be spoiler here, but yeah, this race ends up being just an absolute wash. But I'm going to take this time so you guys can just see how I drive this track a little bit, and also take this time to talk briefly about future uploads and such. So no worries, everything's still going good. Not to break the fourth wall a little bit too much here, but when I do this commentary to these videos, this footage I had anywhere between 2 to 5 days, you know. So what I'm talking right now, this is something that happened, like depending on the video, anywhere from 2 to 5 days ago. And I'm not only going to be doing Road to Masters for those that are newer to my channel, just here at the Road to Masters series, or those that have been here a little longer saw that last year's game I was doing commentary over a league I was in, and I said at the end of that series that I'm going to be doing that for all of my league races this season, and I'm holding true to that. And I kind of had like a mental debate with myself, like, do I do the entire Road to Masters and then do all my league racing? And I thought, no, that's just kind of silly, and I also don't know how long the series will be. As the point of me recording this, which would be about 3 days after I got the footage for this, I am still actively trying to accomplish the Road to Masters. My main issue right now is honestly just finding lobbies, which I'm surprised as we find decent lobbies here. But yeah, anyhow, I decided the way I'm going to do my uploads is I am just going to film my commentary in the order that I get the footage. So basically, it's like I got this episode that you are watching here, and my next episode is not going to be the next video, because the next thing I did after recording, well, getting the footage for this, was I had my first league race. So basically, I'm just going to do things in chronological order as they happen. So sorry if it's a little weird for you guys, you know, let me know in the comments if you don't mind. So yeah, I'm just going to, like I said, the order I get the footage is the order that I'm going to then upload it. I feel like it makes sense chronologically, and I don't see a realistic way to do an entire series through beginning to end and then start another series through beginning to end, especially when I don't know how long this series will be. But like I said, I am committed to it. You know, we're doing this Road to Masters for better or for worse, even if it takes the whole damn year, which I don't anticipate it will. But, you know, I have noticed that it has been a longer road this time in terms of it seems like you don't earn SR as quickly in this game, or I could just be mistaken. But then again, I don't know, because you can't see your SR number like you could in F1 2020 and 2019. But not to get into that can of worms again. So yeah, I kind of went off on a tangent here, but the gist of it is we get an easy win here at Miami, and my next episode will not be the next video you see, because next will be my first league race I did on this game, and I'm just going to continue to upload videos in the order that the footage chronologically happens, because I feel like it'll make the most sense for people that follow me through my journey in the F1 2022 game. You will see on my channel me do things in the order that I actually did them, which I feel like makes a lot more sense. And while I am commentating over things that I didn't do like today, you know, the footage is never more than, for worst case scenario, 5 days old. So it's not like I'm commentating and uploading things that happened weeks or a month ago. It's all fairly recent. But yeah, I don't just do this. I work a full-time labor job. I get like 50 hours a week, and I also take time to go to the gym, and I have other family obligations as well. But I do the best I can to get my practice in for league racings and enjoy myself in the free time. So yeah, enough of me going on tangents. You saw my fastest lap of the race here, and yeah, we closed this one out with absolutely no problem. Let's get out of Miami and see what our next race is. And speaking of our next race, we are at France. First time doing France on this series, I believe. No, it's the second time, because the first time I spun out on my qualifying lap, and that was in my placements. So yeah, second time here at France. Still have not yet had a wet race, which I'm disappointed about, because that's basically a free win for us. And yeah, coming here through the first S section, nailed it, did not spin out this time, already doing infinitely better than I did the first time we were at this track. And yeah, we really want to get a pole position here. This is a larger lobby that we were in. The lobby was medium-sized. You saw in Miami, a little over 10. And what a great time to mess out, because now that I have a decent-sized lobby, I have made a dumb mistake and spun out. Like I said before, these kind of things are bound to happen when you're playing with no assist and trying to play at a high level on a new game that feels completely different. But then again, you know, it's a constant balance. You're trying to go as fast as possible to win, but at the same time, the faster you go, the more risk is there. I made a mistake. I got too eager on the throttle there and spun her around. But you live and you learn. Every mistake I make, I learn from. And this early in the game, where you're going to be just soaking in a bunch of information like a sponge. We're trying to keep it together with these hot rear tires. And yeah, as you can see in the top left corner, we're currently P9 on this qualifying lap. It's not going to be anything good. But hey, this is a track where you got plenty of room to overtake, so hopefully we can make up some decent positions in the race and not tank our rating too much. Now heading into the race, after my dreadful attempt at a qualifying, we are starting 8th out of 11. It's kind of funny how every single qualifying session has either been I make a dumb mistake or I get pole position, which probably makes it look like I'm driving absolutely all out on the limit, but I'm not. I just kind of make a dumb mistake sometimes. But as you can see, great launch off the line. We are already up in the P5. We're going to stick to the outside because we mount the curve on the outside, get the most out of the width of the track, trying to respect everyone's space, and I respect other people's space, but people don't respect mine. I don't know if that driver just doesn't have his proximity arrows on to know that there's someone on his inside, so we shouldn't turn into the apex, or if he just doesn't give a damn, or he has the awareness of insert animal with bad awareness here. I don't know. I'm pressed for jokes right now. It's frustrating. We are in dead last again, 9th out of 9. Already multiple retirements or rage quitters or both. But hey, we don't rage quit here. We fight to the very end. We might be in 9th now, but I'm sure we won't end 9th. Like I said, it's another frustrating thing. As frustrating it is that in these races, like yes, my race just basically got ruined at no fault of my own. That doesn't mean that you should just throw away the whole race mentally and not learn from it. There's still things I can learn here. Like I learned, hey, whatever I did on my grid start, do that again because that was good. I got an awesome launch. Also I can learn, hey, we messed up on our qualifying. Let's try to not do that again. Like I said, you got to live and learn, focus on what you can control, and always think about what you can do better in the next race, and just do your best to mentally keep your cool when the things that you can't control happen. They're bound to happen, especially here in ranked play, where people have the awareness of blind, unaware people. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not here to be a comedian right now, and my jokes kind of suck. But as you can see, we're not that far behind, in all honesty, for getting spun out lap 1. Still plenty of time to make up positions. As you can see, just a whole gaggle, if you will, of cars up ahead. Definitely within the realms of being able to overtake. And there's one. That guy was doing his impression of me on my first qualifying lap I did on this track in this game. Shout out back to, I believe that was episode 1 or episode 2 when that happened. Yeah, we got 2 cars right up here. And I don't want to burn a bunch of ERS because I know everyone else will be doing that here early on, especially when they're battling with someone else. I just want to let my natural pace do a lot of the work. I use a little bit of ERS there just to ensure that I am staying in the slipstream, as they will naturally pull ahead there using all their juice. As you can see here, oh, and the silver car here, he goes a little bit outside after the left-hander, turns into the right-hander like the guy was not there. And yeah, that was a little bit of an impression of what happened to me turn 1. But on the bright side, that's a free position for us, and we are now up in the P7. We see that this guy is not the best, and we should be able to take the position from him without too much problem. We just want to make sure that he doesn't do the same thing to us. He goes way outside here, and yeah, that is that position done and dusted. And now we try to hunt down more spots before this race ends so we don't get our rating tanked too much. Now fast forwarding midway through the 3rd lap, that car you saw ahead as I was heading down the front straight, he had a bad first sector. We had a good first sector. We're going to be in his DRS here, and the question is here, how much juice do I use? I don't think I would be able to get this overtake done here on this straight, so I decided against using the juice. Just let my natural pace that I have on this track and the DRS just pull me up as close as possible. I should be able to still get an easy overtake done without using all my resources, because I'm thinking about even the next car. Now I'm going to use resources here because I saw I got a better run, and I want to ensure that I get this overtake done here so I can use my pace in the cornering section of the track here as we approach the end of Sector 2, beginning of Sector 3. And yeah, I don't want anyone holding me up in this sector because this is where we make up our time. We go a little wide there. He has a little peak on the inside, but we're just going to hold it on the outside. And yeah, we're still having a good 3rd sector here. We want to get into the DRS of this car in front if we want a good chance of passing him halfway through. this next lap. And maybe if we're lucky, we'll be able to hunt down one more car after him. We do still have 2 laps to go. We're definitely not going to make it up to the leader. He has too much of a gap at this point. But yeah, this is just damage control here to try to scrape back as many points as we can. And again, it's the same story. A bad first sector by a car ahead. We're going to be able to set this up nicely. He is out of ERS, so we're going to pass him without using the ERS. And then we're going to use the ERS when he's in our slipstream to ensure that he does not get us back here on this second part of the straight, and also pull ourselves just a little bit closer to that car and see if we have any chance of catching the car ahead to salvage some more points and still be able to get a podium somehow out of this race. Advancing now, we are on the last lap of this race. We are catching the car ahead, but we did not catch him enough to get into the DRS. He has a bad S section here, and as you can see, he is less than 10% ERS. We're going to use our juice now. This is the last big straight before the final straight up to the line. See if we can get enough of a run to get him into this long right-hander. We're not going to. We're going to go to the inside there a little bit just to try to mess him up. And it doesn't really work too much. Right now, I'm just looking for that opportunity to overtake him. If it happens, he goes very defensive into this corner. We're going to have a much better run out of here. He covers us off to the outside, covers us off to the inside, he covers off the outside again. That was 3 moves in one little section there. He's going to play the asshole. I already know at this point he's going to play the asshole. So I get a much better run. I fake him to the outside, go to the inside, use the whole whiff to ensure that by the time I'm alongside, he is not slamming into us, or at least not putting his side pod into our front tire. And yeah, he's got to absolutely hold that L. Madadux, you're trying to crash me out on purpose and you still can't beat me. You're going to have to hold that L, buddy. We do scrape back a podium in this race, but yeah, another frustrating one. All in all, we will still gain points from a race like this. It's just not the win that we want, and it's just not that big chunk of points that I know I can easily get. You know, all in all, in terms of our road to Masters, this race was a success. It's just at the end of the day, I wanted to play to the best of my own ability, and I know making dumb mistakes in qualifying, spinning out is not the best of my stuff. So I want to live and learn from that, like I've been saying, move on to the next one with a clean mental slate, and yeah, keep plugging away at this road to Masters. I did briefly forget to point out there at the last race, we are still Silver 3. We did gain points, I believe. It gave us an up air at least. And we officially are now S safety rating. Yay! So we got there. And a part of my Road to Masters, I've got to mention, I do want to also hold S safety rating, because nothing is more disgraceful than someone that is Masters but does not have S safety. It is not hard to hold S safety in this game. You got to be really just incompetent at keeping the car on the track, or just a straight asshole. Mainly the latter of the two, to be a master and not have S safety rating, because it's much easier to get the S safety than it is the Masters in all racing games that I've played. And yeah, here, our first run here. No, I believe this is our second time here at Australia. And on this section of the track, you ignore the racing line because you want the run to be as short as possible. And yeah, again, just erring on the side of caution, especially after last race. I know I have the pace in this lobby. Just need to make sure I put a clean lap together. This new 90-degree left-hand has really been giving me trouble. I always feel like I'm not quite hitting it right. But then again, haven't gone too in-depth on this track yet to really nail everything down. I will do so more as I approach to getting a league race on this track. That's when I really go all in on a track. But yeah, still got to set up personalized for this track. Not the best lap, but it was clean, decently put together, decently paced, and it's going to be enough for another pole position. And I know I said that I only race in 6-player lobbies. I swear this was a 6-player lobby. Someone quit as we were loading in, so nothing I can do about that one. Hopefully we get someone to join before the race, because like I explained in the first or second episode, how the actual points gaining algorithm works. But to put it shortly, you gain more points when there's more drivers. And you see Fat Philly there. We have a gold 3 here. So this could really be a statement race. And yes, we do have 6 players going into the race. This could be a statement here to get the win against someone that is one step before Masters. I have no idea how he even got to Gold 3 already. I mean, I feel like I'm doing a lot of races and generally having a lot of success and not even have moved into Gold yet. You know, I've ranked up one time. I went from Silver 2 to Silver 3, and he's already three more ranks above that. But I guess he could have just had more time to play over the weekend, maybe right when the game came out, when the lobbies were more populated. But yeah, regardless, focusing on this race, we get a good launch off the line. We're going to be able to pull a gap immediately. And just like in qualifying, it doesn't look like anyone's going to have the stuff for us early on. But you don't know yet. We got to make sure we break that 1 second barrier, get out of the DRS, because with this new configuration of track, more straights, less corners, which means it's going to be more easy for the car behind to follow. But we have a great first sector. It seemed to be a mess behind us. And yeah, this is exactly the kind of gap that we needed for this race. And yeah, we'll see. I'll tune back in if anything exciting happens in this one. And obviously, as you can probably tell, that I've fast forward to the last lap on the final stretch. Nothing really happened in this race. I was trying to think about stuff I could talk about in this race, but at the same time, I'd rather have quality of time over quantity of time in this video, because this is going to be the last race that I cover in this video. We get the win. We were not quite a full second a lap faster than the Gold 3 driver, but yeah, still a great chunk of time faster. Nothing against him though. We are experiencing this game, and I feel like we're pretty good. But yeah, that's a great sign for us, knowing that we do have the pace over people that are at the rank that we want to be at. That's always a positive end to this episode. We also get driver of the day as well by going 0 positions gained into race. I feel like the algorithm's a little messed up, as I did a practice race on my own in Grand Prix mode for a league race, and I started on pole, ended pole, and it still gave me driver of the day, even though Kevin Magnussen gained 12 positions in the race. But yeah, he can just hold that. I'm driver of the day, not him. So yeah, that is going to basically be it for this one, except here we are going to see, did we get a rank up? Did we get the rank up, folks? Building for dramatic effect here. We look, and absolutely no rank up. But our safety rating to get more secured. Yeah, that's going to be it for this one. We'll see you guys in the next one. We're just going to keep plugging away, trying to get these good results, and no more of those France results.